Right, so I've just come back from Mbuna shopping and I've got some really cool fish to show you. So stick around and find out what we've got. So I've just taken a little journey down to Mbuna Aquatics today to see my mate Spud and do a little bit of shopping for some Mbunas because I really need to start getting a couple more fish in this tank and get it looking nice so it's looking a bit more full. So I had a bit of time to cycle properly. So we've already put pre-cycled media in the filtration and stuff, but I think it's time to start adding some more fish now. So Mbuna Aquatics has become my go-to place for African cichlids. Spud there, if you've not seen his channel, go and subscribe to it on Manchester Fins. He's got some great videos, so especially African cichlid ones, so he'll get out to fish farmers in Thailand where he's getting his supply from, and you can really get an insight into where your fish are coming from. So really good videos. He's always posting videos of his shop as well, so you're always getting an update. You know exactly what he's got in stock before you travel down there. So if you haven't already, get subscribed to his channel. It's definitely worth it. But I'll give you a look at what I've got and what types of Mbunas I'm putting in here. So I've got a group of 10 Demasonis. So I don't know how well you can see them on the camera, but I'm sure they'll look a lot better once they're in the tank. They've got really good blue coloration on them. And then I've also picked up 2 of these as well. So these are Aurora Cichlid. I think we were struggling a little bit to identify them in the shop, but I think this is an Aurora Cichlid. So when you get it in the tank, you'll get a proper look at it and you'll see its coloration's a little bit better. But really cool looking fish. So what we'll do is we'll get them acclimatized, we'll get them in the Mbuna setup, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about these fish and exactly why I've picked them for this tank. Right, so these new fish are acclimatized. They've had just over 24 hours in the tank to get settled in. So they're starting to get a bit more comfortable now, showing the natural sort of behaviours within a tank. And just look at them. I mean, the Demasoni is one of my favourite Mbuna cichlids, hence why I got so many for this tank. And I'll give you a couple of reasons why I've chosen these and why they are one of my favourites. So, as you can see, the coloration on them is striking. It goes really well against any sort of white background. They've got the dark blue bars with the black bars along it as well. So really nice pattern. And what makes these so great is between the males and the females, there's very little difference between the two. So with the Demasonis, the only thing that's going to really give you a telltale sign between a male and a female is the size of the anal and dorsal fins, and males have more prominent egg spots on them. But they're just such cool fish. And do you know what? I really like them in this small size in this tank. Now they do get a little bit bigger, so they'll grow to about 3 inches is usually a maximum size for them. So not a ginormous fish, but they get to a semi-decent size. So with all these in here, I might have to set up a potentially a little bit of a bigger tank.
John, I want a divorce.
Divorce.
But they really bounce off the yellow labs really well. They breed quite easily. What I will say is with the Demasonis is they are typically not one of your calmest of Mbunas. So they can get aggressive to other types of Mbunas especially. And it's worth noting that if you're going to keep them, make sure that you've got a good setup. Either you've got quite a heavily stocked tank, or you've got a big system with loads of hiding places for them to go into, because they're not like your yellow labs or your rusty cichlids or your yellowtail ACIs. They can be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more dominant in a tank, but just be wary of that. But just look at them. I like how they look when they're sort of all together, shoaling. Their behaviours, how they creep around close to the rocks. Really, really cool fish, and I'm really, really happy with them. Next is the Aurora Cichlid. So I did actually get 2 of these, but I left one at the shop, and I know Spud there was trying to get in touch with me to try and tell me that I'd left it there, but it's not a big deal. I mean, I can go back and get it in a couple of weeks' time. He's picked up on it and he's put it back in his show tank. But I've only got one for the time being. I do plan to get another one, potentially even a female, so just in case they can breed them. But these are really cool Mbuna as well. Again, they are they're not typically classed as a low aggression level Mbuna. They can get a little bit feisty. They do have a little bit of a higher tendency to fight and dominate over certain areas. So if you're looking for a chilled tank, then you know that might be a last option for you. However, really beautiful Mbuna and a really unique Mbuna as well. So they have this blue hue along the top, and then as they colour up, they get these yellow colorations along the bottom and yellow hues within the body as well. So they are a really unique looking Mbuna. And when I've seen this at Urmston Aquatics, I just had to have it in this tank. Really cool. The females, they don't have the same coloration, so they're a little bit more grey in the body. They have more of the vertical bars going down, so that's how you can tell the difference between the two. But yeah, really nice body shape, really cool colorations. This one's got a lot of potential to colour up. He's not at full size. Again, these get to about 3-4 inches, and yeah, I think they can live for a long time as well. I think they've got about an 8 to 10 year lifespan. A lot of Mbunas do have quite a long lifespan. So yeah, I don't plan on getting any more different species in this tank. I'd like a female Aurora Cichlid, just in case I want to breed. But I quite like the group of Demasonis in here. They can breed quite easily. And I don't want to have too many Mbunas in it, because those of you who've had Mbuna tanks before, depending on sort of what your goal is at the end of the day, but if you have a load of mixed Mbunas in there, what will happen is they will crossbreed. So you can get an amalgamation of different Mbuna DNA, and you can have all these crossbred babies that are little bits of everything. That isn't the goal I want to go for, because I want to be, if I'm breeding these fish, I want to be distributing them for what they are. So if you want Demasonis, I can give you Demasonis. You know it's not going to be mixed in with any other Mbunas. The same with yellow labs and things like that as well. They can cross. So I want to keep it pure. I want to separate the babies out and make sure that I've got the exact species that I want before I start distributing these to shops or people, anybody who wants to come and collect some, anyone who needs some fry. So that's the goal at the end of the day. I don't want to overload it with too many different species and just have a load of abominations swimming around in the tank. I just want to keep it as clean as I possibly can, but at the same time have a little bit of diversity in there as well, where I can enjoy it. Once the breeding systems are all up and running, you know, I'm going to separate fish and put them in their own specific tanks to breed until they hold, and then strip the fry. But it's looking really cool, the tank right now. Take a look at it. I mean, I love how all these Demasonis hold close to the rocks. I wish they would stay this size. I know they're going to get a lot bigger, but I think they're really cool when they're this big. They just add a lot to the actual scape, how they hug close to the rocks and everything. The yellow labs look great. The Bucachromis, he's only in here temporarily. And now I've got more Mbunas in here. It's just starting to bug me, because I know he's a hap and I want this to be a Mbuna only display. So he isn't a long-term resident of this tank. As soon as I've got the big tank here and I can move these big predator haps into the other display, this Bucachromis is going to go straight in with the peacock cichlids, because the peacock cichlids won't eat him. They might beat him up, or they might bully him or over dominate him, but if I put him in with these haps, they will just swallow him and engulf him. So this is the best place for him currently. He's not in any danger from the Mbunas. He might get pecked a little bit, you know, a little bit further down the line, but he's not, he'd be a lot worse off in that tank. And he's not posing a predatory threat to any of the fish that are in here as well because of his size. So I'm going to leave him in here for the time being. As soon as his other tank comes, which is taking a long time, it's actually due to have been delivered by now. And I've been contacting these guys because it's actually an eBay seller that sold me this tank. I've been contacting these guys for a long time. It's not a private sale, it's a proper company that's building it. But they're not coming back to me. So I'm getting a little bit concerned because this tank should have been here already. So fingers crossed, obviously hopefully we get it by the end of the month. I've got FX6 ready to go and set up on it as well. I do plan to have 2 on that tank, but I've got 1 for the time being just so I can get it up and running. Yeah, and then things should start falling into place then as well. But I'll leave you with some shots of this Mbuna tank, just so you can appreciate it and have a look how great it is. And then if you're thinking of sort of Mbunas and an Mbuna setup, I would always go with sort of Demasoni if you're gonna first starting off, or the yellow labs, because they just add a great color contrast. All the behaviors are really good, and then you get in no differentiation between males and females as well. So they're all the same color. You're getting the color pop from the fish, regardless of what sex you're getting as well.